I'm sorry that some of you didn't grow up in a church that taught the full gospel.
So because we grew up in the wrong church, we became atheists. Nice line of reasoning.
I'm sorry some of you had pastors or even parents that were friends that didn't want to answer your questions, and when you had doubts, they said, that's of the devil. Just forget about it.
So, because we don't understand the Bible the way you understand the Bible, we became atheists.
I'm sorry your church services were so boring. You could barely stay awake and probably had to hear stuff in Latin and see all this unintelligible stuff going on.
Yeah, there wasn't any Latin in my Methodist church, but yeah, there was a lot of unintelligible stuff going on. It's called religion. So, because our church services were boring and we couldn't get adequate answers to our questions, we became atheists.
Over and over again, man rejecting God so many times, yet God pursuing man, and because of his love and mercy.
Okay, over and over again, man rejecting God, and God pursues man because God is so loving and forgiving that He'll burn you in hell if you do reject Him for all eternity. Loving and forgiving, burning in hell. You see why we have a problem with your crap?
He rescued him himself by sending Jesus Christ to die for us.
You know, I'm really getting sick and tired of this Jesus died for my sins thing. You know, it's pretty simple to figure out that a guy dying 2,000 years ago for something that I did yesterday just doesn't make sense. And not only that, if we're God's perfect creation, why aren't we perfect? Oh, and don't give me this free will thing, because then you pray for God to change something in the world. How is that enacting free will? It isn't. It's acting... Oh, you people are so full of shit.
The video then goes on to say that because of Adam, everybody's in deep mud up to their necks.
Yeah, because of Adam, everyone's in deep mud up to their necks. It's in your own book!
Through Adam does come sin, but he was making a greater analogy there.
Okay, Paul's making a greater analogy there. This is why people have such a rough time with the Bible and with religion in general, is because it doesn't speak plainly. And when it does, when it says, thou shalt not kill, oh, well, that's only not in a time of war. And, oh, well, that's only if God doesn't command you to kill someone. And there's all these caveats and shit that aren't in the Bible that you make up. Come on, you're making this stuff up.
A man is in court accused of raping and killing 15 innocent women. And this man is standing there, and his lawyer says, here's the deal. He was born and raised in a very rough neighborhood. Very rough neighborhood. So the neighborhood made him who he is. Therefore, he killed and raped those women because of a direct consequence of what that neighborhood made him. And the judge would then slap the Gavin down and say, all right, all charges dismissed. I understand perfectly now it's not his fault. No, he's responsible for his acts.
Yes, so after the judge hears this case and goes, no, you're still guilty of committing those crimes, the man looks at the judge in the eye and goes, but a guy died 2,000 years ago to absolve me of that. And not only that, I accept him in my heart as my personal Lord and Savior. Then the judge, by your reasoning, has to go, oh, okay, you get into heaven, good for you. Go rape and pillage some more, because with forgiveness and with Jesus dying to redeem you, you get in heaven no matter what the heck you do.
We have a moral code inside of us where we know right from wrong. And you choose, as I do, what is good, what is evil, what is right and what is wrong to do.
Yes, we do have a moral code inside of us. Inside of us. Not external. Not from a magic book. Not from a sky fairy. It's inside us. If you just embrace that, you too could become a free-thinking atheist.
But he sent Jesus Christ to die for us as an act of love.
You know, this is where you guys just start sounding batshit crazy. When you bring up this act of love of killing your own child, that... Whoa! Do you hear those words? Do you understand those words? That's an act of love? Killing your own child? You people are batshit crazy if you really believe that.
It occurs to me, and I'll tell you why, it seems that atheism needs Christian theological fallacies for its worldview to continue standing on its feet.
Okay. Now you just went from batshit crazy to loopy-doopy-doopy. Saying that atheism has to have Christianity be batshit crazy in order for atheism to stand on its own? I'm sorry, your people wrote the book, your people preached the book, your people follow the book. Guess what? It's your problem. It's not an atheist problem.
Because if Christianity starts to make sense, if it starts to become logical, then they're standing on quicksand.
If Christianity started to make sense, and if Christianity was logical, then we wouldn't be having this conversation now, would we?
And as a reward for this, you'll get into heaven. No! What Bible have you been reading?
Probably the King James Version, where they even gave you the Bible passages. And it says that you shall go out and proselytize and convert others. It's in your own book. If you can't read your own book, why do you want me to read it?
Do some research for yourself. Pick up the Bible, read the book of John, then go into the book of Acts. See for yourself.
Now, I got a better idea. Go and read Genesis all the way through to Revelation, cover to cover, page by miserable, bloody page, in order as it was intended to be read. Don't read the shit piecemeal. Read it cover to cover. And as Christopher Hitchens says, that's the best way to become an atheist, is to read the Bible cover to cover. Which I've done twice. That's why I'm an atheist.
But I warn you, as you start reading these books, your worldview and these videos that you're watching might start dissolving away in your mind, not making sense anymore. And you're going to see that maybe your atheism is not so much an intellectual issue, but an emotional one.
Yes, and if you read any science book, just pick one, any one, you might begin to realize that your Christianity is not an emotional problem, but a mental one.
Leave the Windsor Jordan alone!